Will more people work from home in the future? What are the advantages and disadvantages of home working? Watch this video for some extended Band 9 model answers. Hello there, it's David from IELTS Teacher 365 here. Welcome to this second video on the topic of teleworking, home working, working remotely, or whatever you call it in your country. In this video, we're going to look at some fantastic extended Band 9 model answers to help you improve your speaking and your IELTS bound score. Remember, to get the most out of this video, pay attention to the language I use and my native speaker pronunciation. So, if you're ready, let's get started. Question 1. Will more people work from home in the future? Yes, of course. To my mind, one of the benefits of this is that companies will be able to attract better talent and retain them for longer. I mean, not everybody will accept a job if it means relocating to another part of the country. For them, stability for their family and being close to friends may be more important. But companies can potentially get the best people from any part of the world, providing they don't expect them to be where the head office is. And this will also lead to a decrease in staff rotation for the same reason, I think. Yes, I'm pretty sure that teleworking is here to stay and the number of people doing it will continue to increase. In fact, I read recently that people working from home are actually more productive than office-based workers, which is bound to interest companies. One of the reasons for this is lower stress levels because there's no daily commute to and from the office. And another reason is that people can focus better at home. You don't have all the distractions associated with working in an office. Absolutely. I think it's one of the main ways we can combat the problem of global warming. Having more people working remotely and less people getting in their car and driving to work. In fact, I think in the future we'll see governments encouraging companies to do this with their employees, perhaps through tax benefits or just enforcing it through legislation. I mean, having more and more cars on the road is just not sustainable in my opinion. Yes, definitely. I mean, for companies, it makes a lot of sense for their staff to work from their own home. This way, they can make huge savings on how much office space they need. And the smaller your business premises are, then the more money you can save on other services. Heating, air conditioning, cleaning services, and office furniture all cost money. And this is why I think we'll see this happening more and more, people working from home. Yes, without a doubt, it seems that being a freelancer or self-employed is becoming a popular career choice nowadays, especially in this internet age. And I've read that in many cases, these workers earn higher salaries than people with fixed jobs who do the same thing. For companies, it's easier to hire a specialist or expert for a one-off project than it is to advertise and recruit people who you may then have to train. And right now, there's a massive rise in freelancer platforms which allow you to post a job and receive applications from people all over the world in only a matter of minutes. Question 2. What are some of the advantages of home working? I think one of the benefits of working from home is that you have a more flexible schedule than when you work in the office. I mean, as long as you get your work done, you're free to organize your day in a way that best suits you. This is both in terms of what time you start in the morning and what time you finish. And you can also stop and have lunch when you feel like it, and not at a time that's decided by the company. Regarding breaks, you can take these as and when you need them. And if you want to do some housework while you're having a quick coffee, then that's up to you. And this is great because you can get a lot of household chores out of the way so that you can relax more at the end of the working day and at weekends. Well, I think one of the advantages of working from home is that you can wear the clothes that are the most comfortable for you. You don't have to follow a strict dress code the way you do when you go to the office. And if you're a woman, then you don't have to spend time putting makeup on either. And as long as you get the work done, I don't think it matters whether you're wearing a sweatshirt, leggings, or shorts. And in my case, I'm more productive when I feel comfortable. Obviously, if you have a video conference during the day, you need to make sure that you're wearing the appropriate clothes from the waist up, or at least remember to turn your camera off. For me, I think one of the big advantages of working from home is that there are a lot less distractions. And this makes it far easier to concentrate and get more work done in less time. In the office, you always get interrupted by colleagues asking you questions about work issues or just wanting to chat about other stuff that has nothing to do with work. The problem with this is that it eats up a lot of your valuable time. And there's also a lot of background noise in the office, other people's conversations, telephones ringing, and so on. And all this can make it much more difficult to focus on what you're supposed to be doing. So I'd much rather work from home, where the noise level and the number of interruptions are not a problem. For me, the absolute best thing about working from home would be not having to commute to work every day. I mean, you waste so much time going to and from the office because there's always a traffic jam, and it doesn't matter whether you use public transport, for example, the bus, or you use your own car or go by motorbike. When you work from home, you can use this time to sleep longer, do exercise, or start work earlier and get more done during the day. You also save a good deal of money on travel passes or fuel, and in the long run, it's better for the environment because when there's less traffic on the roads, there's less contamination. Well, if I were working from home, I think I'd appreciate spending more quality time with the family. Instead of having to leave home really early in the morning to avoid all the traffic jams, I could start work earlier, then wake my kids up and take them to school, and then get back to work again. I think right now many people rely on grandparents or have to pay someone to help with childcare. So apart from having more quality time with your children, you would also be saving money as well. In the afternoon, you could pick the kids up and then do some fun stuff together. And if you need to work again in the evening, then you can. Question 3. Do you think there are any disadvantages of working from home? Well, I think one of the disadvantages of working from home is the lack of social interaction with work colleagues. I think most people enjoy the office conversations about what you did at the weekend, as well as work-related stuff too, and so I would really miss that. To be honest, I think I'd find it incredibly boring to be on my own all day long. Well, I think one of the problems of when you're working from home is when you don't have a reliable internet connection. I know people who say it works fine sometimes and then they get disconnected. So they end up moving to other rooms in the house or going to work in a cafe. But I think in the end, you end up losing a lot of time because of this. Well, I think one of the problems of working from home is the fact that not everybody has a dedicated space in their house for this. In my case, mine is quite small, so for me it would be a lot less comfortable than going to my normal place of work, especially if I have to keep moving from room to room because there are other people living there too. For me, one of the drawbacks of working from home is that you don't have all the equipment you have in the office. For example, a photocopier, a printer, and I also have 2 screens at work, and at home I only have 1. So I would find that much slower. The other problem for me would be my chair. I don't have a proper office chair, and so I would probably have a backache by the end of the day. Well, for me, I think one of the disadvantages with working from home is that it can be more difficult to concentrate and stick to a routine. In my house, for example, there are too many distractions like housework and noise made by other members of the family. and so for me it would be hard to get focused on what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't think I have enough willpower to make work a priority, and so I'd end up doing longer hours than I probably already do in the office. Well, I've heard that one of the biggest disadvantages of working from home is that it takes you much longer to do everything. When you're in the office, it's much easier to ask your colleagues or your boss a quick question, and you get an answer right away. When you're at home, you have to send them an email or call them, and this ends up taking more time in the end. For me, one of the biggest disadvantages of working from home would be the temperature in my house. It's quite cold in winter and I can't afford to have the heating on all day, and so I'd prefer to be in the office. And in the summer, it's the opposite. My house gets extremely hot and I don't have air conditioning at home. So as a result, I think I'd be much less productive than in the office. For me, one of the biggest drawbacks of working from home would be if you have small children. Even though you might have someone to look after them, they don't understand that you have to work, and so they demand your attention all the time. And so your day becomes one interruption after another, which I think is a very unproductive way to work. So there you have it, some great ideas and language on the topic of working from home to help you improve your speaking and your IELTS band score. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and feel free to leave a comment down below. And remember, click subscribe and the bell below so that you never miss the opportunity to improve your English and your IELTS band score. I'm David, thanks for watching and keep practicing. I'll see you next time.